listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the longest-running Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
We're always in control, and when you say Miami, you're talking to my ball. 'Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast on this Tuesday, November the 18th. I'm your host, Michael Leva, joined as I am each and every Tuesday by Josh Moser from WSVN 7, South Florida's #1 news station. Josh, how you doing?
We get a little rest this week. It's nice. Kind of lean back, take the tie off and just sit back on a winning streak right here. 2 in a row.
3 out of 4.
Yeah.
3 out of 4, 2 in a row. And they got some games coming up that they might be able to extend this winning streak. And we're going to talk about that all on today's show. But before we get to that, as always, this show is brought to you by Caneswear. Everyone go to the website, caneswear.com, for the best and most affordable Miami Dolphins apparel on the internet. We got Christmas coming up. Hanukkah is about to come up. Whatever you celebrate, if you need a gift for the sports fan in your life, go to caneswear.com. They got stuff for the Heat, the Panthers, the Hurricanes, the Marlins, and of course the Miami Dolphins, all the South Florida teams. Something for the home, something for the car, something for the office, or just something to wear. Caneswear.com. If you're in South Florida, stop by their shop at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. But Caneswear.com, and they ship internationally as well, which is awesome.
Great autograph signings too.
Yes, they have great autograph signings with a lot of local talent down there. A lot of guys from the Panthers recently. Yeah, So always check out their website to see who will be there for an autograph signing. Shout out to everyone watching us live at the I Am a Miami Dolphins fan Facebook page. And if you're watching us on YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and super chats are open. If you leave us a super chat, we will read it on the air. Josh, Miami went to Madrid, and they won. Won pretty, but they won. And at the end of the day, that's kind of all that matters. 16-13 in overtime. They didn't look as good as they did when they played the Bills the week before. And there were some questionable calls on 4th down, whether to kick to take the points or go for it. What are your thoughts on Mike McDaniel? Let's start there. Late in the game, 90 seconds left, really. 4th and 1 at the 1. He doesn't take the field goal to take the lead. He goes for it. What would you have done?
Analytics say go for it, and I would have gone for it. I know a lot of fans were in uproar because Ollie Gordon got stuffed. Basically, Aaron Brewer just got blown up that play. But with that much time left on the clock and the timeouts that the Commanders had, remember, they had a chance to tie it with the field goal themselves. They missed the kick. Then they cut their kicker the next day. But realistically, you're 3-7. Instill some confidence in your team. Go win the game. Play to win. I'm sorry if anybody watching this thinks that the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs. It's not happening. So Just put that out of your mind. At this point, you're playing for execution, to play better, and to try some things. Here's a great opportunity in a clutch situation. Go for it. So I like the call. Obviously, it didn't work out. But look, when you're 3-7, you're going to get, if you go left and it doesn't work, everyone's going to say you should have gone right. It doesn't matter what it is. You're going to get criticism on either side, but I like the aggressiveness from Mike McDaniel. What I don't like is just the constant waste of timeouts, the delay of game penalties. We're past the halfway point here. And, I understand that Chris Greer is gone. Champ Kelly comes in and you fire your 2 personnel guys. And you could argue that, look, there's not a lot of talent on this team, especially compared to last year's team, especially with Tyreek Hill out for the season. But you want to see execution, and those are things that you can control. And for me, it seems like from everything that I'm hearing and from everyone that I'm talking to is that owner Stephen Ross really wants Mike McDaniel to stay. And if that's the case, I'd be very curious to see what GMs would be interested. But if this is your audition, Mike, that Mike McDaniel's having here, you can't keep making these mistakes and these penalties. And that, to me, is the biggest issue right now with this team. We understand the talent's a talent. We understand everybody's deficiencies. But, I think I believe in the call, but I want to see Mike McDaniel continually make better calls. And I actually thought he called a pretty good game. But I want to see more.
Yeah, I think that was sort of the frustrating part with this game. I've seen a lot of people in the media, say, fans shouldn't be rooting for the team to lose. It's not about rooting for the team to lose. It's not about getting a higher pick in the draft. To me, it's about fans wanting to see this team put together 2 weeks in a row where they look good. And that's not what we saw. We saw them look great versus Atlanta, then come home and look horrible versus the Ravens. And they look great versus last week when they played the Bills. And this week, yeah, they won the game, but no one's going to say that they look good in the process. Like, there's no consistency with how this team, they come out flat way too often. They're at times they just don't look prepared. 2 weeks in a row, he's had to waste a timeout on the opening series of the game. Like, this week 11. I mean, come on, man.
Right.
And running the offense. He's calling the plays. That's his offense. So I think that's where a lot of the fan frustration is. It's not that the team won and fans are mad. I think that's a very simplistic view. I think the fans that are mad are like, we never see this team improve. And it's like, they should look. Washington didn't have their quarterback, didn't have their top wide receiver. Their top lineman was out too in Payne. He was out there at nose tackle. And they are one of the worst teams in the league on defense. In 3 of the most meaningful categories, they're ranked 29th, 30th, and 31st. And Miami struggled to score points. And it's like, that's where the frustration is. It's not about tanking for a pick, or it's about, fans don't want to see this owner, bring this guy back, because if he goes off and wins 5 or 6 games here against the Saints and the Jets and Washington, it's like those wins are meaningless if we look like this in these games, because it's more about the eyeball test more than anything right now. And with the eyeball test, the game we saw last week at home versus the Bills is the exception, not the norm.
That's the best they've looked all season. But I'm with you. It's just, where are these performances week in and week out? And we understand that the hardest part about being a pro athlete is consistency. All right, it's great if you can do it once in a while, but can you do it every time? And here, is that a question of talent on the field? Is that a question of coaching? Is it a combination of both?
Probably both.
Yeah. So then it really boils down to, does Stephen Ross have the stones to clean house? And we've talked about it for weeks. The right thing to do is to say yes. That being said, Tua's contract, I truly believe that there's no better coach in the NFL for Tua than Mike McDaniel. And it looks like Champ Kelly, when he's come in here, he's been at practice. The team loves him. He's very in front of things. He's been great. It's almost like we're seeing a renewed sense of energy on the sidelines. I understand you've won both games, and winning solves a lot of problems. But I think the building is starting to shift now that Greer is out, and you're just hoping that they come back and they can actually look good against the Saints team. But you should shellac them. You should beat the Jets.
Good.
And then all of a sudden, you've won 5 out of 6, and you're right back in this thing, a game below 500. And, I was saying realistically 7 and 10. That's probably what it's going to be, 6 and 11. But you never know. I mean, the Jaguars are faltering. They're holding the final spot right now in the AFC. So they can put together a run.
Well, here's the problem.
Will they do it?
Well, here's the problem with fans who want to see them make the playoffs. They have 6. They have to win out. And even then, it's not even a sure thing, because right now they have 6 losses inside the AFC. You have the Tennessee Titans have 8, whatever. And the only other team who also has 6, Cleveland, who actually owns a tiebreaker over you. So any tiebreaker they're going to end up in, they lose, because they have so many losses inside the AFC compared to every other team. So that's where, and again, dream the dream. If you're a fan out there, dream the dream. They're going to run the table. Even if they run the table, it's still not a sure thing they're making the playoffs, because when it comes to tiebreakers, the first thing they're going to look at is inside the AFC. And they have a lot of losses inside the AFC, Miami. So there's that. Here's the other thing with the schedule. Saints, like you said, Jets. They go to Pittsburgh. Now, now Rodgers has a broken wrist. So he still might play, but it's his left hand. So who knows what he's going to look like, or even if he'll be out there by then. So you got that game looks more winnable than it did like Saturday. Then you got Cincinnati, who can't stop a runny nose. Even if they have their quarterback back, that's a game where you could see Miami, winning 38-35. It's at home. Like, I mean, they could really go on a run. I don't think it's going to happen because I think the team we saw versus Washington is going to pop up in one of these games, and they're just not going to catch a break, and they'll probably lose. But it's not out of the realm because it's not like they're going up against a murderer's row here.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa's kind of the only game that really sticks out to me. They're going to be playing for something, and the way New England's playing, and depending on what the Colts do, they may already be locked into a playoff spot in that final week, and they may rest everybody. So, look, I think, you win these 2 games, you see where you're at. But again, they're winnable games. As you said, they're meaningless games. These are games that you should win. And you never know here late in the season. We haven't seen any players come back from injured reserve. So we know Austin Jackson's window is open for the practice. We'll see if he comes back. That would obviously be an improvement over Larry
He has to come back after the bye or else why open the window? I mean.
Right. So he's got to be back. You're talking about Darren Waller, who was phenomenal in the brief stint that he had here. So you have some troops that could potentially help you. Juju Brents is a big injury to me. I know that he really didn't get a lot of run, but this team is just so thin in the secondary. Minka Fitzpatrick's basically back there by himself. I know Jack Jones had the game-winning interception, but it's thin pickings. But I will say, maybe my question is, I love Jordan Brooks's play. I know, last year he wasn't, a good fit in the locker room, but I love what he brings. And to me, he's a Pro Bowler if he's leading the league in tackles. But I love his disposition. I love what he's about. And I think that man deserves a little bit of flowers if anybody deserves them.
He's the heart of the defense.
Yeah.
He's the heart of the defense right now because you look at this team. Zach Sealer, he didn't get his first sack till last week, I think. Chop Robinson's done nothing this year. I know he was hurt for a couple weeks, but he's done nothing this year. Chubb's been okay. He's been okay. Can't think of anyone else really. So
Jalen Phillips has played better in his 2 games in Philly than he did all season with the Dolphins.
Yes, I know. And here's the thing with Jalen. Great guy. Everyone loves him. But he did say what he said on video about happiest time in my life. And now he's trying to backtrack it, saying it's clickbait. Jalen, it ain't clickbait. You said it. It's on video. You said it on NBC after the game Sunday night. You specifically said, I'm going to double down, which is fine. Be happy. You're entitled to. You're on the best team in the league. You might win a Super Bowl. Just don't say it's clickbait because it's anything but clickbait. You literally have said this multiple times now on video. It's not out of context. It's not clickbait. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm a huge Jalen Phillips fan. And
we all are, but don't say it's clickbait because it ain't clickbait.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Dolphins fans watching this are probably like, here we go again. It's, we get these guys, they don't get paid, they go elsewhere.
But they probably weren't going to pay him anyways after this year. Let's
no, but it's like, I was talking to a buddy and we're like, if Jacoby Brissett's the quarterback on this team, do the Dolphins have a better record this season? And
I think they might.
Because
I think our quarterback, anytime you talk about him, fans just get so in their feelings.
But this is what
he
I'm saying.
He hasn't been good this year. That's all I'm going to say. He hasn't been good this year.
No, but it's sometimes, you have the talent. It just doesn't fit. The vibe's not there. A scheme change or, you just need a different environment. And I've covered this team now for 5 years in the locker room. And I've really seen a consistent pattern of players leave and they find success elsewhere. And it's a shame. And we understand that they draft and they don't pay their guys. But it's just baffling to me. So we'll see if there's a change in the new GM.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to lead to next, because that sort of leads to, I think a lot of fans, and I will put myself in this boat, I want someone from the outside coming in. I want someone who has no ties to Miami, no ties to anybody, just come in, because we need clearly a new vision, a new approach, new. We need that new car smell. And I know there's a report from Ian Rappaport, I think on Sunday maybe, saying, don't know what they're going to do with Mike McDaniel and all stuff. Oh, no, it was Rossini on Saturday put out a report saying that this job, the general manager job, is an attractive job. And look, who knows who told her this?
Every GM job's attractive. There's 30 of them in the world.
Yes and no. There have been guys like that guy for the Bears, Ian Cunningham. He's turned down jobs because he wants his first job to be a good spot. He don't want to walk into a bad spot. So yes, every job is good, but there's levels to this too. If you're going to say the Giants fire their guy, which I think they might actually, Like that job's way better than Miami because you already got the quarterback in play. Like that job's way better than Miami's. It just is.
I know though. I would disagree there.
You have a way better owner. You have the young quarterback in place. And they are going to have a top 5 pick. That's just a better job. This Miami job, I'm not saying it's bad. What my question is, if you're forcing Mike McDaniel on the next GM, I don't want to hear anyone tell me this job's great or this job is attractive. And no new GM's going to say, you know what, I'll put up with him for a year, and if he stinks, to me.
Why not? Why not? I think that's exactly what happens, to be honest with you. I really think
I wouldn't want that job then.
But no, look, Tua's got to out after this next year. If I think Tua and Mike,
it's not even about Tua. It's about the head coach.
Right, but again, I truly believe that Mike McDaniel is the best head coach for Tua. And if there's a decision to be made, I think both of them are a package deal. I think they would both leave at the same time. Tua has the out in the contract after this next season in 2026. If I'm a GM and Stephen Ross gives me the hey wink, hey, we're evaluating everything. He's got an out in his contract. We can make that move. So get your draft picks in line this year, but we're really playing for 27, 28. And, I'm giving you 5 years to make this thing work. That's a different scenario.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I honestly think that's the actual conversation.
I think that'll happen, and it'll drive me crazy just because that probably will happen because it will drive me crazy. But to me, that job is not, quote unquote, an attractive job because you're walking in and they're saying, hey, you're handcuffed. Forget the quarterback because that's just a player. Players come and go. The coach is like, you're handcuffed with this coach. You might not know the guy. You might have never spoken to him before, but you got to have him for 1 year. It's like you're hiring me, and the first thing you're telling me is I have to keep him.
But
it's screw that.
The first year's a throwaway.
Exactly. It's a throwaway. So let me get my guy in. Let's get our system in because then what's the next year going to be? That's a throwaway too because you got a new coach in, new quarterback coming. It's let me get the throwaway out of the way.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. But I mean, to me, I think the Dolphins job's more attractive than the Titans. I know Cam Ward's there, but I think Nashville's a great city, and I know they're building a brand new stadium, but you talk about the facilities that this team has. You talk about living in South Florida. You talk about the tax exemption. You talk about the lifestyle.
Have you heard about the rumor with that job? So apparently the Titans like Robert Saleh, apparently. And if Mike McDaniel's fired, they want to bring him in as the OC to work with Ward.
I mean, I think that's actually very feasible. Robert Saleh deserves to be a head coach. Robert Saleh has a place down here in Miami. He's very well respected. You bring in a defensive mind, you bring in somebody to mentor Cam Ward. I think that's a great, that sounds great on paper.
Sounds great on paper, in theory. Yeah. But that's what's floating out there around that job. I'm sure, look, they're probably going to talk to everybody.
I'm not just digging on that. I'll get back to you.
Yeah. So, okay, we've spoken about if they win 6 or 7 or 8 games, whatever, this, that, or the other, he'll stay, he'll go, or maybe he stays anyways. Let me throw a scenario at you that we haven't spoken about. And to me, this is like 3D chess stuff. What if they win 7 or 8 games here? Okay. They go on a run. All these games they win. Mm-hmm. Don't make the playoffs. And he goes, but they still let him go, Mike. He's still fired. Would that be a sign that the owner ain't in charge all by himself anymore? And that's more about his family, and it's more of a group making this call, not just the owner himself. Would that be a sign? If he wins this game, they go, you know what? He's still got to go. Because that's the sign to me. If that happens. If they win, if they go 7-10 after a 1-6 start, if they go 8-9 after a 1-6 start, and they go, man, you ended the year hot, but Mike, we're still letting you go. That's probably not coming from Mr. Ross. That's probably coming from Tom, Silman, his 2 daughters. They might be like, you know what? Let's do this right once. It's type of deal. I don't care how much you like Dad.
Look, Ross just bought the Ben Hotel in West Palm Beach, dropped $190 million on it. Great property.
He likes West Palm Beach.
Yeah, it's growing. Everybody's coming down from New York. I love that hotel. The hotel's phenomenal.
I've never been to
great
that
rooftop bar.
Okay.
But look, I mean, we kind of
I
know
know.
that it's the power is shifting, and especially with his stepson, he's got some experience in this, and Tom Garfinkel's a great business mind. But again, like, will it actually happen? And
That's the most fascinating thing here. The second half of the year.
To me, the biggest thing though is the Tua contract, and I think for Dolphins fans watching this, the biggest thing potentially working in their favor, which makes no sense, but to me it does, and that is the success of the Broncos. Simply because they're in first place in the AFC West, they're paying Russell Wilson all that money to go away, and look where they are. It worked. So it proves that it can be done. And you talk about wasting that second year if you're going to leave the duo in.
Yeah.
So this is a blueprint, and before, people invest big money, they want to know that it's a proven concept. So there's your case study. I think that actually bodes well for the sweep. But then again, too, if you're winning out, that means Tua's lighting it up. And
now if he plays like he did for Washington, and they just beat up on the Saints and Jets
because they're
inept.
They're not winning all these games if he plays like that.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, I don't know where James Daniels is at, and you get your offensive line back in shape if Liam Eichenberg. God, I can't believe we're saying his name. Jesus, we're at that point of the season.
Here's something else.
You get some help, you have a chance to be better statistically.
Is it help at this point? Because they've won 3 or 4 without these guys. Does there come a point? We're going into Thanksgiving. Does there come a point where you say, screw it, this is our guys. They're the ones who've actually helped us win these games. I don't want to upset this cart right now. We're just going to go with the guys we got. No. Why even have some of these guys back at this point?
Well, I mean, some of it will be with the salary cap.
Some for depth, I get.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't care. Austin Jackson's a first-round pick. I know he's hurt all the time, but
they pay him enough. He's got to play. Yeah,
he's an upgrade from Larry Borom. I'm sorry, Larry.
Well, I mean, I apologize,
but
Borom. Yeah,
you're a backup. Get out of my way. And Darren Waller, if he can step back on the field, great.
Him they could use big time.
You need
big time to use him. Yeah,
you want to put your best players on the field. It doesn't matter about the chemistry. The offensive line's a little bit different because they play together.
But here's the deal. I don't need to see Sanders back at kicker. We're good. I don't need to see Liam really because we're fine. Why? I don't need to see. Well, I mean, whatever. I don't need to see who's the other guy out.
Daniels.
He can. Since they paid him what they paid him, if he can return, he returns. But
I'd move Jonah to the other side where he's normally comfortable playing. Like I would try that there.
You would think, but they want to set up the left side of their line for the future. Mind you, they might not be here for the future, but we heard Frank Smith 1 month ago. We want to see Paul and Savanaya on the left side for many years to come. Granted, Frank Smith might not be here for many years to come, but that's what they're doing. So I don't see them moving them. But for some of these guys, it's like, you know what? These are the guys that have helped us win these games. I'm not going to put them on the bench now and it's like starting over. Everyone's got to get reacclimated now. It's like, no, just ride it out at this point.
Yeah. I mean, and look, depending on what happens these last few weeks, if they, those last 2 games, if they're really out of it, maybe there's so much can happen.
I know where you're going. And that's the biggest. Myself and Seth Levitt have gone back and forth on this.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch. And I understand Seth's point of view. And I know some people wanted to start him last month. And I never said that. I said the final month of the year. Once you're mathematically out of the playoffs, what does it hurt at that point?
You have to. Why? I mean,
let's see.
You have nothing.
Let's see.
You have
Before we go and draft a quarterback, maybe you got something here, but we need to see.
Right. I mean, and we'll find out more at the combine. But from what I'm hearing from the scouts that I've talked to is that there isn't really a top quarterback prospect.
Well, they're all going back. You got the kid from Oregon's going back.
Yeah.
Simpson might go back. You got the kid from South Carolina might go back.
Oh, he's definitely going back.
Yeah. Well,
they want him in Miami.
I don't know if he's going to Miami, but he is going to transfer probably. Mm-hmm. Unless South Carolina just opens up the coffers for him. Yeah. I think he should go to Indiana, and I think the kid from Arizona State should go to Miami. I think that's more of a fit for both those guys, but it all comes down to money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the deal. So this draft might have Mendoza as like the guy in round 1, which is
Mhm.
fine because they'll go to the Saints or the Jets or whoever, whatever.
Crazy. That high.
Next year's draft, but if I'm one of those guys, I'm like, wait a minute. Next year's draft, you got Arch Manning, Legway, you got all these guys who are probably going to go like in round 1, on top of us all heading back to school. So I might go in round 1 next year, but I might go pick 22. This year, if I come out and I'm the second best guy, yeah, maybe I'm not, I'm not ready, but I'm gonna go pick 8. Like, I'd rather go pick 8 and and be not ready than go back to school, risk being hurt, and then being, yes, a pick in round 1, but pick number 28. So
Slotted, yeah.
One of those guys should come out. One of them should.
Yeah, I hate to use this term, the bridge quarterback here, and that's what Tua could be. But after this next draft, that draft class that we're talking about, where there's the sexy names, Tua at that point would have most of his contract behind him. The out would be behind him, so that could be a sign and trade scenario. There's so many possibilities. Like, we're putting the wagon way ahead of the horse here, but I think if you win these next 2 games, then there's decisions to be made. And to me, it's the decisions that you make after those 2 games that should give you an eye of, can the people that are making these decisions stay with the organization or not? And that's what I'm looking forward to watching.
Yeah. And here's something else. That 27 draft, from all the people who really follow this stuff, and I read all those people, is saying this is going to be an iconic draft. He's got the wide receiver from Ohio State who's like unbelievable. Like, you have so many big name people in that draft, not just at quarterback, at all these other positions. That's the draft, which, God bless the Jets, they got 3 first-round picks that year. Like,
they knew what
that's
they were doing.
The draft everyone wants to have picks in, because that draft is so loaded. So if you're the Dolphins, again, or if you're any team, if you can get your quarterback this year, it just opens you up next year to get guys at every other position, which I think it will be the Saints or Jets will probably get Mendoza. One of them will, I think. And for all those other teams need quarterback, like the Raiders, Miami, maybe
the Browns might take another quarterback at this point. Like, who knows?
Yeah, but I don't know if they're going to be in position, because I think the Saints and Jets are so bad, even though they won this week, the Saints, I think they're so bad, it's going to be tough to move up. Now, here's the wild card. If the Titans, who have 1 win, end up with the first pick, who's going to trade up? If someone wants to trade up, because they don't need a quarterback, so they can slide down. Now, the Jets obviously have the most picks, and they can get anyone they want, take a move to anyone they want. But are they going to want to trade to go to 1? Now, if it's a small price, if they're picking 3rd and they go to 1, that's like a small price to pay. So they probably would if they want the quarterback.
Who is the top? Who's the projected top pick? Do we know? I haven't looked.
It's the Ohio State linebacker, Averill, I think is his name.
Okay.
You got him. There's 2 offensive linemen. There's a kid from Utah and the kid from Miami.
Yeah,
you've got
Mendoza. CC's 5 through 10. Bain will be top 10.
Bain's going to be in like the top 6, 7 picks, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this draft isn't bad. There's just not a lot of quarterbacks in it.
Yeah.
So Mendoza is the thing. Who falls in love with him? Saints or Jets, probably. If they each say no, then it's wide open for anyone to move up and get him, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I know Drew Rosenhaus is trying to lock down Mendoza, who's from down here. So
he should. Good for him.
We'll see what happens.
Let me do a speed round here as we wind up. And this is just stuff from all around the league. Since it's not really the halfway point, but since we're on a bye, it's our halfway point, I call it. What's more of a surprise this season? That the Patriots have looked so good, or that the Bills have sort of struggled as much as they have?
Patriots look so good.
Yeah.
I mean, from people that I know around Josh Allen, kind of in the honeymoon phase, a lot of stuff off the field. But Mike Vrabel's done an incredible job. We've talked at length about Josh McDaniels and what he can do in that role. Maybe that's a role for Mike McDaniel, realizing, hey, no, not knocking him at all, but I think he would be dynamic with Cam Ward. Not that he's not been good here. I think he's truly resurrected to his career. And even the defensive coordinator coming back. I mean, Patricia, like they have, like, that is the crew. Like, you look at those 3 work so well together. And then Elliott Wolf, the job that he's done, I worked with him a lot when he was in Green Bay. To me, it's no surprise. And they've got a quarterback. And they hit a home run with the running back Henderson, who's been phenomenal. And Diggs has looked really good coming off the ACL injury. So, what Elliott Wolf has done is something to be, very proud of. And, we've known that he's been able to do this for a long time. it's just amazing to see that, you find the right pieces and it all fits.
Yeah, real quick though, Matt, he's with Ohio State still as their
I'm sorry,
coordinator, Matt Patricia.
Who's their DC?
Patriots DC. I don't. You know what? I'll check right now.
Sorry, everybody.
No, you're fine because I know he's at Ohio State, and that's a name. It is Terrell Williams.
Sorry, Terrell Williams.
Terrell Williams. But here's the deal with Matt Patricia. He's been so good at Ohio State as their DC. He might get an offer. He might get an offer,
but
to be head coach somewhere again.
Yeah, but
I know it was really bad with the Lions, but again, second chance around. Those if those guys are smart and they learn, that's when they sometimes have the most success.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels had the Broncos, and then the Raiders, obviously, but he's in a good spot.
Yeah,
Vrabel's the man.
He's a very good coach. Him. Yeah, and think about this: you had the Patriots; they had their head coach last year. You know what? I have a chance to get Mike Vrabel. You're fired. I don't care how it looks. We'll pay you off, and they hire Vrabel. What if this year they fall short, the Bills, and they go, Sean, you've taken us as far as you can take us. We're going to let you go, and they're going to go find someone else. And then you're the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel, one more year for you. All the teams around us, they're ruthless with their head coaches, and we're going to give McDaniel one more year. That would drive Dolphins fans up a wall. You will see social media explode if that ever happened.
Yeah,
that would be.
I don't think that's happening, but
I don't think it's happening either. But if they fall short, the Bills out in round one of the playoffs, nothing would shock me. That team's got too much talent to be out round one.
Oh my God!
All right, couple more.
Mm-hmm.
It's November 18th as we record. I give you two options on a bet. You can have Kansas City and the Ravens, or you can have every other team in the AFC to make the Super Bowl. Are you taking Ravens and KC right now are out if they start the playoffs today, which they don't, but they're not even in the top 7. Would you take those two or every other team to make the Super Bowl? I'm taking Chiefs and Ravens. I'm not lying. I don't trust the Colts. I don't trust Pittsburgh. I don't trust the Patriots or Bills. I'm taking Chiefs and Ravens to figure it out here in a month.
Broncos are the only team that
that would be the one.
I just don't trust Daniel Jones, and I think Jonathan Taylor deserves the MVP right now.
Hold on to that thought. I have a question about that.
It's not the Chiefs. To me, it's the Ravens because Lamar was hurt, and it would be Lamar, but it's. Yeah, outside of that, gosh, it's a great question.
I'm taking Chiefs. Here's the deal, because if they get in, the Chiefs get in, which leads to my next question, kind of. If the Chiefs get in, round one of the playoffs, they're probably not going to be an underdog. They're probably going to be favored on the road. Same thing with the Ravens. They're going to be favored on the road. Well, they're probably going to win the North. The Ravens, so they'll be home. But those two teams, I don't care what the record says at the end of the year. If they're in, these other teams are screwed. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. It just depends if you're healthy. You just got to be healthy at the right time. But I just don't think the Chiefs have enough as good as Patrick Mahomes is. Right. I never want to bet against him and Andy Reid, but just
you're taking the Ravens, though, yeah.
There's not enough on the rosters. The Ravens are there. Yeah, and I love Hamilton. He's I think he's one of my favorite players. I love watching him play defensively. And then just there's so much there. Zay Flowers is great. You love King Henry. Mark Andrews ran for a touchdown on a great play call this last week.
Smart coach too. They got good coaching.
Yeah, I think the Ravens. I think this is the year they get to the Super Bowl.
I think teams that go through a little bit of, at the start of the year have a little bit of, oh my God, all these issues, but then they right the ship. This is the time that you want to be hot. And
but this is the exact opposite of the Dolphins.
I know.
That's what you want to see. All right, you have injuries, you weather the storm.
All your adversity, get it out of the way.
But now it's here's the consistent upward trend versus the
rocky road. Yeah. Okay. Will the Indianapolis in their first home playoff game, because they're going to be the 1 seed, maybe the 2 seed, even the 3 seed, they're going to get a home playoff game. Will they be favored in their first? Because if they're home first, either the Chiefs or whoever they play in round one, they're going to be home underdogs, I think. If they're home round one of the playoffs, hosting the Bills, I'm betting the Bills. I'm
I
not
think
betting
everybody
Daniel
is.
Jones. It's
Yeah.
like, who are they going to be favored over? Jacksonville maybe be the only team.
You're starting
I
with
think the
7.
Chargers.
You're starting with 7.
Yeah.
We're assuming they're the first round pick, or the first.
They're
get
going
the
to be
number
1 or
overall
2, I
seed.
think. 1 or 2. So they might get a bye. If they get a bye, they're for sure going to be a home underdog.
Depending on
2.
how healthy Aaron Rodgers is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. The Ravens might win that division. I don't know.
I think the Ravens are going to win the division.
But yeah, I'm not picking the Colts over a healthy Aaron Rodgers, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Patriots. It'd be
Chargers? Maybe Chargers and Jacksonville? Maybe?
they would lose one of them's going to lose in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, they're on to round 2. If they're the 2 seed, then it's a little bit different. But if they're the 1 seed,
yeah, they're screwed.
They're
screwed in their first home playoff game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
yeah. Okay. NFC North, Lions, Packers, and Bears. If you look at the NFC, it looks like 3 teams might come out of the West, which means out of Packers, Lions, and Bears, only 2 can make the playoffs. Which one of those 3 won't make it? Packers, Lions, and Bears. As of today, what's your guess?
surprisingly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's the Packers.
Yeah. Their offense sometimes looks really
offense
bad.
Without Tucker Kraft, him going down, Matt LaFleur has not been able to adjust. And it has been so disappointing because there's so much talent on that team. To me, that's a top 3 defense in the league. It's a championship level defense. The Micah Parsons deal, you kind of mortgaged the farm there with the 2 first-round picks. This was your year. Like, you are set up. Tucker Kraft goes down, and you cannot figure out how to run an offense without a tight end. Huge problem.
Yeah, I agree.
The Lions obviously did not look good against the Eagles.
I think they'll be okay, though. Yeah.
But I think the rest of the way, I want to say they've got every game is inside. And if you get a home playoff game, I think you got a chance to win that division. And the Bears
are looking good.
That is an upstart group. We kind of just mentioned the Ravens on that trajectory. And, we know Caleb Williams' talent. It's just, can you put it together? But
he's starting to put it together.
Yeah. But
you watch him. He's starting to put it together.
Yeah. Pace has been great. Got a couple people on staff there, and they really like the trend that team is on right now. But yeah, Packers, odd team out.
Yeah, and the West, as long as Seattle keeps winning, I think you are going to get 3 teams from the West. And I think one of those teams in the North might be left out. And that would be wild because those are 3 good teams right there.
NFC, so you're saying you're having the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks?
I think I like those 3 over the ones in the North because I've seen the Packers offense. It's just so bad. It's been so bad. I think Chicago having a 1-game lead on those 2 at this point now in the season is a good thing. Lions are going to be fine, I think. They kind of remind me of like the Ravens. Just get in the dance, and they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I'd say the Packers. I don't know. Okay, last one was about the MVP. Now, everything you said is right about the running back there, Jonathan Taylor. But we know this is a quarterback award. And I can't remember the last time a non-quarterback won. It was Peterson, but that was back, I don't even know how many years.
God. Yeah.
So the odds of him winning it are probably
days.
slim. If it's not him, who are you going with? I think you got to go with May, especially if they win the East. He's like the leading passer in the league. He's got like 20 touchdowns and 5 picks or something crazy like that.
Yeah, we're only in week 11, week 12.
Yeah, we got to start to narrow it down at this point, though. That's where we narrow it down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Nix to me has been too inconsistent, but his team is winning. There isn't like a defensive player that's on like a 20 sack amount or a 10 interception type situation. Yeah, I think May could be a legitimate person.
Maybe Matthew Stafford.
Stafford could be in the mix. They're going to put Saquon's name in the mix because he's Saquon.
Jones will be in the mix if they keep winning.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, as just right now, to me, just Jonathan Taylor, like the multiple 3 touchdown games. He's
got 1,139 yards and 15 touchdowns. He'll get to 20 touchdowns. Can he get to 2,000 yards? If he gets to 2,000 yards, then it's going to be tough not to vote for him. But he's got to get to 2020, I think.
Yeah, I think to me he would be. I don't know what the odds are right now for
I have no
who's going
idea.
to win this thing, but I mean he's got to be the heavy favorite.
Here's the passing leaders in the NFL as of tonight. Number 1 is May. Number 2 is Justin Herbert. Number 3 is Jones. 4 is Mahomes. 5 is Prescott. 6 is Matthew Stafford. 7, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's like 9th. Nick's is tied for 10th with Love. Mayfield's 11th. So it's like May. Yep, I'm right. 20 and 5. 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's got a rating of 113.2, which is I think the highest in the league. Yeah, that's the highest in the league. May and Jones can't put in Herbert because they're probably going to come in third in that division. May and Jones would be the 2 quarterbacks as of today. And I'd say Jonathan Taylor, he might be the guy to finally snap the streak all the quarterbacks if he gets to 20 touchdowns, which he will. And if he comes even close to 2,000, if it's 18 or 1,900, I think that's close enough.
Sorry, my computer's over here. I'm typing this in ChatGPT one time.
Yeah.
Last non-QB to win NFL MVP.
I know it's Peterson.
Peterson
I just don't know
was
the year.
2012.
My God, that's 23 years ago?
No, just 2012. So 13.
2012, 13 years ago. Yeah. He might be the guy, though. He's having a good year. So, all right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to follow Josh Moser on social media at The Mose Knows. If you're in South Florida, check him out on WSVN 7, South Florida's #1 news station, every Sunday night with Drew Rosenhaus. Checked it out. A lot of great info there as well. Follow all of our stuff on our website at DolphinsTalk.com. Follow me on all the social media at and there's a few interviews this week. Marissa's got one, and I'm working on one with a former player who I've been dying to talk to for many years. And I was talking to him Sunday, actually, as Miami was playing in the morning. So I don't want to say who because I don't want to jinx it, but stay tuned. So
is he number 54?
No. Close on the number, but no. I'll tell you off the air. Everyone, have a great rest of your night. Have a great Wednesday. Thank you for listening. And please, when you're on the road this holiday season, remember, we still must put an end to
You
highway.
love this. He loves
profanity.
That's his thing.